Alright, and the Oscar goes to Johnny Depp, Black Mass. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Depp is back. He is that good. Black Mass. So Black Mass is the true story of Boston mob boss Whitey Bulger, how he was pretty much at the top of the criminal underworld in Boston and then became an informant for the FBI in Boston to help take down the Italian mob that was invading his turf. So we get a mob movie, and yeah, it's a really compelling, really good mob movie. I don't want to say it's as good as The Departed or Goodfellas, because it's not. Nothing is ever going to top those, or like The Godfather, nothing is ever going to top them. But it's still a damn good movie, and here's why. The acting and the performances in this movie, incredible. The best acting I have seen all year. Seriously, no joke, and I said it in the opening, Johnny Depp deserves an Oscar for this movie. That is how good he was as Whitey Bulger. Half the time, actually more than half the time that I'm watching this movie, I'm like, that is not Johnny Depp. That is Whitey Bulger if he were 30 years younger, starring in his own biopic. That was Johnny Depp in this movie. I was like, where is Johnny Depp? That's not him. Johnny Depp as Whitey Bulger stole every scene he was in. Which makes me happy because it shows me that Johnny Depp is finally back. You know, the past couple movies have been misfires and critical bombs. And, you know, he just kind of became a parody of, like, you know, any of his Tim Burton characters and, you know, Jack Sparrow. So it's good to see him in a movie like this. Thank God he made this movie. Because he stole every scene he was in. And then Johnny Depp might share a scene with Joel Edgerton, who steals every scene he is in. And then Joel Edgerton might share a scene with Benedict Cumberbatch, who steals every scene he is in. And then Joel Edgerton will share a scene with Kevin Bacon, who steals every scene he is in. And Joel Edgerton comes face to face with Corey Stoll, the bald guy from Ant-Man, who steals every scene he is in. Pretty much this movie is full of scene stealers. Not only are the performances really good, but the dialogue is really good too. Like that scene from the trailer where Johnny Depp's just talking to the little kid and he's like, you know, yeah, you get beat up at school. He's like, you know what? You beat somebody up. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Scenes like that are really well written in this movie. Even the more like investigation scenes with, like, you know, John Connolly going to the FBI bureau in Boston and be like, hey, yeah, I want to use him as an FBI informant. Yeah, every scene was written really well. There was violence where there needed to be violence. I felt like after watching this movie, I knew who Whitey Bulger was. I mean, just kind of watching it, you're a little unsettled because you're just watching what happened to the biggest Boston bastard in, like, history. You're watching it unfold before your eyes. But it's like, that's reality. That is what happened, and it was written really, really well. Oh, now when I say unsettled, yeah, some of the deaths were unsettling. Oh my god. Like, this isn't really a spoiler alert, because, I mean, sort of, but there's like this one dude, he's got him like sitting down, he just ties a noose around his neck and pulls, and I was just like, that was brutal. He just takes this like prostitute, brings her to an abandoned house, and just chokes her to death. I'm like, I think I read about this, and I remember that it was, yeah, it had knots tying in my stomach. People getting shot at point-blank range, people getting garroted, people getting strangled, yeah, it's all there. It's a mob movie, it's gotta be in there. However, this is a mob movie where I feel like it's two separate movies, because the first half was, they had this to do, and then the second half was, okay, screw that, we got this to do. The first half, it was just like, I felt like the movie was going to go in that whole direction, and then the second half is just like, nope, that's all done, we're going this way. I'm just like, can we get back to the other stuff, please? It's more exciting. And with that, the first half takes place in like 1975, and then the second half takes place in like the 80s, so I think that's probably why. But with that, I feel like the movie doesn't have a clear-cut ending. It's very anticlimactic for me. It's just, okay, yeah, he leaves, bunch of subtitles and text about what happened to people. Oh, and he got, yeah, you know, that stuff. Which just kind of makes me wish the movie was 3 hours like it was intended to be. Scott Cooper, the director of the movie, said the original cut was 3 hours, but then he trimmed it down to 2. due to pacing issues, and the pacing is really good in this movie. It works well for a 2-hour movie, but I feel like the beginning of this movie really set this movie up to be a 3.5 hour biopic of Whitey Bulger and what this bastard did, and I would have been fine with that. If The Godfather 2 can be 3.5 hours long, why can't a mob movie be 3.5 hours long? And this is going to sound like nitpicking. It's not anything against the movie. It's not the movie's fault that this happened, but I was thinking about something and it took me out of the movie for a split second, and that is I couldn't help but compare Black Mass, just for a split second, I couldn't help but compare Black Mass to the other mob movie, Donnie Brasco. I think it's because both have to do with the mob, both have Johnny Depp, both involve the FBI. It's not Black Mass's fault that I was comparing Black Mass to Donnie Brasco. It's a weird comparison, I know, but it just kind of took me out of the movie for a minute. I don't know why, it just did. Oh, and if you haven't seen Donnie Brasco or don't know what the hell I'm talking about with Donnie Brasco, watch the movie or read the true story. It's awesome. So Black Mass suffered from, I feel like two different stories. It could have been two different movies. I feel like the movie should have been an hour longer, and the ending was a bit anticlimactic. Like, it didn't really wrap up, I didn't feel like. But the movie's got great writing, great acting, great directing, great pacing, and it's definitely one of the best movies of the year. I don't think it's up there with, like The Departed or The Godfather or Goodfellas or anything, but it's definitely one of my favorite mob movies ever made. Black Mass is one of the best movies of the year. I will give Black Mass a 9 out of 10. So I'm going to ask you, have you seen Black Mass? What did you think about it? I want some feedback, so drop me a comment in the comments section below. And I also want to ask, what is your favorite Boston movie? To me, The Departed. That's the ultimate Boston movie. It's either that or The Town. Those two are like the two ultimate ones. Whatever you thought of this movie, and whatever you think is your favorite Boston movie, drop me a comment in the comments section below. And for more news and reviews on movies, movie trailers, video games, and TV shows, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter. If you're on YouTube, hit the big red subscribe button, and welcome to Maddenville. Yeah, sorry if I just kind of got camouflaged with the Black Mass banner in the background. I don't know how that happened.